Donnie joins us now. What's your viewing pleasure tonight?
I'll definitely want to keep up with that game, Dan. You kidding me? That's who we play next.
Bud, you take notes?
I just watched the game. We've played them quite a few times, and we'll go through our meetings. Whoever we end up playing, we'll go through again and review all the guys. When you're in the National League Series, you have a pretty good idea who we're playing and the guys because you face them all year long. So it's not as tough as once you get to the next step.
If I told you back in late May, early June, that we would be talking as you get ready to go into the National League Championship Series, you would have said what?
Well, it didn't look great at that time. Obviously, we were 9.5 back, and I don't think nobody give us just that number puts you in harm's way. But the one thing I think I always knew is that if I could get our guys healthy, I knew we had talent and we had pitching. And, from there, you got a chance. And it sounds like last week, right, when, everybody kind of questioned me last week, or all season, it sounds like you were questioning Kershaw.
Yeah, I was.
I heard it on the show.
Okay.
Did you play, Dan?
I did.
Did you pitch before?
Yeah, in high school. I threw a no-hitter against Springboro.
Springboro?
Yeah, I owned them. I threw a no-hitter. Yeah, so I know something about pitching, Donnie.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I knew I couldn't hit it. So, those were things that I thought were important. But I did say I wouldn't have pitched Kershaw because I didn't think you needed to. But tell me how that story started, that you go to Kershaw, he goes to you, and the decision to start him in Game 4.
Oh, we talked about this before we even ended the season, as we started looking at the schedule. Once we clinched, started looking at the schedule, and really looked at it from the scenario if we were down 2-1, and thinking about would you bring him back on short rest, and really just we all kind of laid out different scenarios, and then and he just kind of looked at us and shook his head, and we all kind of just talked with Honeycutt and myself, and then as we got past that scenario, if we're up 2-1, well, coming back, Zach would be at full rest, and Kirsch's he would be basically the way he was the other night, right? He really struggled with 3 days, so it in our minds it went to why if you had 2 bullets, why would you just throw one of them away and say I'm going to make sure if I miss, I got another bullet, and I think that was our plan was that if Kirsch misses there, we still got another bullet in Zach Greinke on full rest. And basically, for any other team, you would say he's your best pitcher.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah. Well, your team and Kershaw. It was just, I think now we can look back because you won. And you were trailing when you took Kershaw out. So, you roll the dice with that and you would have had Greinke going in Game 5. I understood it. But you set your rotation up. Now, how does your rotation work for the National League Championship Series? Greinke goes Game 1?
Yeah, Greinke Game 1, and then we're looking at Kirsch Game 2, and then we'll have discussions on Game 3. It may depend on who we play and how we match up there as we go. We'll go over the roster this afternoon a little bit. We won't really know who we're playing until obviously later tonight.
He's Don Mattingly, the Dodgers manager, joining us. Dan Patrick Show. What's your contract situation?
Same as always.
Wait, what's that mean?
Well, really, I think it's, for me, at this point of the year, it's not worth talking about. It's not even something that you should even think about this time of year.
But do you have another year on this deal, or are you up?
No, I have an option.
Okay.
For next year.
They have
it. The one thing I think we should talk about really is the coaches, though. I think those are the guys that, because you see teams that, guys are going here, there, they're letting people go. And, when you look at coaches, I don't think people realize that how hard these guys work. And these aren't multimillionaires working. These guys are working year to year. When they don't know where they're going to be the next year, it puts those guys in a bad spot. And I do think it's something that I would love to see our guys taken care of.
Doesn't bother you though that there's a little bit of doubt here. I know you don't want to talk about it, but let me just get the question out of the way, then we can move on. But that doubt here, or you've earned a contract extension.
Well, Dan, I go back to the same old things with that kind of stuff. I think you do your job. People recognize it as either good or bad. I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of where we've came from, what we're doing right now. We're winning. We're moving on to the next round. And to me, that tells your story. I don't need to talk. I don't need to do anything with that. I just need that. If our club wins, it tells a story. If we don't play well, that tells a story also. So when we were struggling this year early and things weren't going good, I was up in the air because my team wasn't playing good.
Yep.
We came back. We responded. We're playing well. To me, it tells a story. I don't need to tell it.
How about Puig's development? I didn't know if it was more about on the field or off the field. What concerned you more about him?
Obviously, on the field is what we worry about and concerned about. And we're really proud of him that last series. I felt like a couple of situations he made good hard turns at first base and made good decisions to stop. A couple of plays in the outfield where he came up throwing and was dead on the cutoff man. His at-bats, we've seen some patience. We've seen him get some big hits when we needed them. I thought he was really good this last series. And that's really what that concerns us. So we got a 22-year-old that's coming from Cuba. We don't know his background from the situation of, what he feels like. A guy that's all of a sudden making money and he's in the big leagues at 22. Stuff off the field is, I want these guys to have some fun. Hopefully they'll make good, have good judgment about what they do. But we really are more concerned about on the field, unless off the field really kind of spills over into the clubhouse.
Have you faced Kershaw?
I stood in with him. I stood in there with him. It wouldn't be a good at bat. It wouldn't be a fun at bat, I'll tell you that, left-handed. Or either way, really, obviously. But he's got a lot of weapons, and he's got some deception. The ball down, that he throws down, looks like it's going to run right into the ground. And it kind of has that gear that just takes off and straightens out on you. So it's a tough read. And I don't know how to explain that to you. You said you didn't really hit that well, so
No.
you may not get this one. But it's that one that it looks like it's going into the ground from where he throws it. And it kind of just hits a spot. It just flattens out and stays straight and hits you at the knees. And you go, wow, I thought that ball was down. It's a tough one to swing at.
But the windup, that little moment, that little hitch, what's that do to a hitter?
It just kind of gets you a little bit. Every guy's a little different, right? And some guys are really smooth, and Kirsch has got that little bit of a hiccup there. I mean, I think we see it with guys like Kim Ming Wang and some of the guys, the Japanese guys. Different guys have that little turn on you. That's just deception, and it messes with your timing just a little bit. But when it gets right down to, guys will figure that out, and they'll get that timing. It's location, and it's his pitches. When it gets right down to it, it's him being able to locate on both sides of the plate. Him being able to use different breaking balls and the changeup. He just gives you. He's a tough matchup because he's got so many. He's got weapons and can get the ball to your weakness, and that's really what gives guys the most problem.
What's the prognosis for Kemp with surgery?
I think this surgery, and I don't want to speak to the doctors, but it sounds like this is more of a not near as complicated as what he went through last year. I think it's an AC joint. It's a quicker recovery. He'll have a full winter to work out. So I think this is something that's bothered him. He's taken some shots through the course of the season to kind of keep this thing down. But it's something that's came back enough times that they're saying they would like to just keep it where it should be gone now.
There was a moment where I thought you were going to get tossed late in the season, and I kept thinking that jersey that you're wearing was going to be mine.
I forgot about that.
But you almost got tossed, right?
Where was that? I almost got tossed, but then I thought about your show. I forgot what do I get out of this deal? I forgot what that was.
I'll say nice things about you.
That sounds like a deal, right?
I won't ask you about your contract or something. I don't know. Yeah, but I did. I had all of these fans, friends who were Dodger fans. They're going, Mattingly's jersey. They just kept texting me, Mattingly's jersey is going to be yours. And all of a sudden, I flip over and I go, oh, you didn't get thrown. I was actually rooting for you to get thrown out.
That's nice of you.
Well,
hey, postseason doesn't count, right? I'm through the season at this point, so I've already postseason counts. Okay.
Is there a chance you
better
could get thrown out in the postseason?
I hope not. You don't want to get tossed in one of these games. You'd like to be able to hang around and at least be around long enough to get criticized for your decisions.
It's amazing how people say, he's such a nice guy, and then all of a sudden he puts on a uniform, a game starts, and you change. Like, do you realize you change?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, for sure. I think as a player, that's what I always liked. I think that was my favorite thing about playing was that you could be yourself off the field, but then on the field you get to just, you really get to get your mind in a place that just takes you into a competitive mode that it's just all about it, at that point. And during that time, you feel like everything's okay to a point. Obviously, you have to still keep control of your emotions. But I like that part about being able to kind of like just put a different uniform on at game time.
Before I let you go, you have to pick now. Mariano Rivera's career or Derek Jeter's?
Whew. Well, I don't know. I think I think I'm going with Jeter because he gets to play more, right? He gets to play every day. Mariano is not quite as much. And, come on, Miss Universe. Every year. Mariano's got a great family and everything, but I'm going with Jeter.
Jeter first ballot off the field too, right?
I think so. This guy's tremendous. And you don't ever hear a bad word. Dan, come on, this guy's. Yeah, you don't ever hear a bad word about Derek from anyone, and I think that says a lot in itself.
Well, same with Mariano. Did you ever face Mariano with that splitter?
No, didn't stand in. Since I've managed, I like standing in there with guys just to see what what the deception is, what's going on with this guy. When some people see him good, some people don't, and I like standing there. But with those guys, obviously was playing when Mariano was going out. So didn't get to face them.
Well, have fun next round, and just remember, when it starts to get a little heated, just remember,
That's right.
You get tossed, just take off the jersey and FedEx it right after the game.
I'll just rip it off right then. If I'm going to do that, there's going to be no buttons on it.
Hey, good to visit with you. Congrats.
All right, Dan.
All right, Don Mattingly.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.